Welcome to the G.O.A.T Sports Podcast, a weekly sports podcast for kids by kids, where it's all sports all the time. I'm your host, Socket. Welcome to this week's episode for Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Here are the top sports news from around the world. In NFL news, with Week 5 beginning this weekend, the teams are looking for a win because there's only two teams in this entire league who are undefeated, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings. Week 5 was drastic with lots of crazy personnel changes. Kenneth Walker II is back for the Seahawks but didn't get the ball a lot during their loss against the Detroit Lions. It was a very interesting move on Seattle's part because their run game was very useful in the 3 games prior. Anyways, the Lions were always on top of the Seahawks from the beginning. Devontae Adams, a free agent to be. The Raiders are saying they're open to any trades for him. The Dallas Cowboys might get him to join the rest of their awesome wide receiver lineup, including CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. The Buffalo Bills are splitting ways with wide receiver Stephon Diggs after 4 months and 1 week after their loss last year to the Eagles in Week 9, where Diggs scored his final touchdown for the Bills. They traded for him for a lot of money to the Houston Texans. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Chargers this weekend 17-10. The Vikings beat the Packers in a close game that went down to the wire 31-29. The Texans take their first win of the season against the Jaguars with 18 seconds left. Rookie QB CJ Stroud fires the ball into the end zone to find an unlikely option in their third-string running back. In WNBA news, the Connecticut Sun kick Indiana Fever out of the competition 2-0. Lynx take Mercury out with another 2-0 landslide. This leaves New York Liberty, Las Vegas Aces, Minnesota Lynx, and Connecticut Sun. Minnesota Lynx in Game 1 against the Sun lose after an outstanding performance by Alyssa Thomas with 2 late baskets to take the Sun win 73-70. New York Liberty versus the Aces. Brianna Stewart, amazing game, boosts their team to a comfortable 10-point win to take Game 1 of the series. In Game 2, Liberty take that game to make the Aces on the brink of elimination. Another close game, 88-84, in an exciting twist. The Minnesota Lynx come back to make the series 1-1, with an outstanding performance from Alana Smith with 3 3-pointers in the game. Next is the GOAT of the Week. We're looking at the greatest of all time in sports. This week's GOAT is Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King is a tennis legend and a fighter for fairness in sports. Born on November 22, 1943 in California, she started playing tennis as a young girl and quickly became one of the best players in the world. Over her career, she won 39 Grand Slam titles, making her one of the greatest athletes in tennis history. But Billie Jean King didn't want to just win trophies. She wanted to make sure that women were treated fairly in sports. In the 1970s, women aren't always paid the same amount as men or given the same respect. Billie Jean King spoke out for equal pay and helped create the Women's Tennis Association, the WTA, to give female players more power. One of her most famous moments was in 1973 when she played and won a tennis match against male player Bobby Riggs, proving that women could compete just as well as men. Billie Jean King's fight for equality made her a hero both on and off the court. Billie Jean King, you were truly the greatest of all time. And that's our show. Thank you for listening to the GOAT Sports Podcast. Expect a new episode weekly in your favorite podcast app. And please do not forget to subscribe. Do leave your comments and ratings for our show. If you'd like your team to be featured in our weekly shoutouts or any other comments, please reach us by email at thegoatkidspodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.